The International Blind Cafe 18 Plus presents Conversations from Booth 6666666.
Order up.
Is this the one for booth 6?
Yep.
The InternationalBlindCafe.com welcomes you back to Booth 6. The previous discussion in the booth centered around finding independence through personal interest and abilities. This time in the booth, let's explore how we connect to current events and an ever-changing world. So, Jason, what's one way that you consume information and find relevance in the world around you?
Well, that's a good question. Like, as much as most people sit and watch the news, I listen to it. I'm a political junkie. I'm a news junkie, and I sit and listen to the news. I scroll the internet, and I listen to podcasts. And really, it's really how I get my perspectives, and I try and get perspectives from all sides, and then sort through the information, just like any other person should. So that I'm an educated voter when it comes time for elections, and so that I know what's going on in the world around me. It's important, I find, as a citizen of whatever country you live in, is to be educated on your national issues, your local issues, and even world issues. So how about you, Eddie? What do you do to keep in touch with the real world?
Listen to numerous news channels on the TV and some internet stuff. Radio stations. I guess kind of like everybody else. Having conversations with other people, saying things that they heard or didn't hear. That sounded nice. But yeah, I guess just like everybody else.
Well, yeah. There's sometimes wading through it, and we have to wade through the information,
Right.
And it's great. We still have discussions, and just because we're blind doesn't mean that's all we talk about. So we get in conversations here, even in the booth sometimes about what's going on in different world events. So. Hey Jody, how do you deal with the world of information?
Well, the thing is, these little smart speakers, you just ask them what's the news, and they just give you a big update on different things, all sports and world events and stuff. It's very, 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 very convenient.
Oh yeah, I love my smart speaker where it just condenses everything. And then I just listen to a hockey game on one of mine. Gotta love listening to a hockey game.
Yeah.
Tremaine, how about you? How do you sort through all the nonsense of media and deal with things?
I cheat. I just turn to social media and see what's on the timeline and see what's on somebody else's timeline. I scroll on TikTok, and that's where I get my political news from. And I scroll on Facebook to get the world news. And because, the news is cool, don't get me wrong. I find it to be a little depressing. So I have to, pick up news from just talking to people here in the cafe or either just scrolling on social media. Like I said, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I don't really do Twitter too much. X now. Sorry, don't sue me, Elon Musk. I don't really do X too much. But, I used to use X a lot back in the day. But, yeah, social media. So I guess I cheat. I don't really watch the news. I absorb the news through social media.
I find X is a good source if all you want to watch is a lot of videos about people doing stupid stuff. Just like TikTok. So it's a lot of... Yeah, it's definitely a changing landscape.
Yeah, it's a faster way of condensing different stories. But sometimes you gotta wade through the BS. I ain't gonna lie, but for the most part, if you got a good timeline, you can find out what's going on. Like The whole situation with the rapper who should not be named from New York, who used to, be part of the bad. Anyways, I learned about that situation from social media, pretty much.
Well, yeah, and even no matter what media stream you're using, whether you're using social media or terrestrial media, you've always got to sort it out because there's always a bias involved. I find it.
Correct.
So anyway, how about you, Terrence?
And I used to have it was called Smart News app, and it was actually rather informative. I need to get it back going again just so I can keep up with stuff. It's funny, we talk about getting older. It's like you get older, you got to eat more fruits and vegetables and more fiber. But when you get older and you start getting into a different tax bracket or the same tax bracket and you're trying to figure out what you need to do with your money and who's looking out for your best interest, the news is very, very important as far as just finding out what's going on, as far as the people that represent you, your neighborhood, if from your local municipality to your state to a federal level. And I'll just say this, but it can be just a little depressing because I live in Detroit. And so around here, the news is so sensationalized. It's like, guy gets shot at car wash. Find out why at 5, and then he's like, was that the car wash in my area? Do I have to walk by there? And come to find out that he didn't get shot at the car wash. He went to the car wash to get help because he got shot somewhere else. Or he was never shot by anybody. But I'm kind of like a mix of Tremaine. I listen to what some people say, and then I spend my time fact checking it. It just really go down.
Absolutely. And then as we listen to the news and we absorb the news and we sort through it all, and then the news happens to us. A big event, a big world event is COVID. It happened to all of us. It shut us all down and locked us all up. And that's about the time I went blind. And I was supposed to do my O&M training, and everything locked down literally the day before my O&M provider was supposed to come to my house to give me my first real outdoor lesson. And so that was delayed a little bit. So I did the first half of my O&M, so the first 6 months, via Zoom. Hang my phone around my neck with my camera pointing outwards, and he would literally guide me through my neighborhood as I'm click-clacking through the neighborhood with my cane. I wasn't...
You said you had to do virtual orientation mobility?
Virtual orientation mobility. And I felt like a young kid. I wasn't allowed to cross any busy streets.
Without him. He's sitting there like, now turn to the left again so I can see what's happening. No.
Right that was it. No, that street's too busy. Now turn around. and we'll go for another lap. Yeah. So there's ways we've had to deal with, like, even as like we've had we deal with stuff as the world kind of hits us a little bit. So how about you guys? Any of you guys have to deal with anything crazy during COVID?
It was the whole mask thing, man. So I don't talk loud like that. I specifically try not to. Is the large bald black dude yelling at you asking for chicken. It just doesn't, I've always just tried to have a even cadence. And the problem with that is everybody had masks on, everybody had guards up, right? Those little plexiglass or whatever. And you go out shopping and you're wrapped up and they're wrapped up, and all I wanted was some ribs. I just need 2 slabs of ribs, and just trying to convey that. And whereas people now that we have the vaccine and people have lightened up with it, people they'll come out and talk to you. They used to come out and talk to you if you really need assistance. They saw that you were blind. If the intercom wasn't working, they'll open the window. Well, nobody opened the window up for nobody. It could have been a cute baby holding a puppy, and they wouldn't have opened that window for him at that point. So at that time, grocery shopping was a little bit of a chore trying to get that done. Just overall public interaction with people. How you guys find that?
My mask story is different because I live in a very religious community, and my daughter got me some masks, and they were reusable cloth masks, but one of them was in leopard print. So it looked like I was wearing a hooker's G-string on my face. that got me all the reactions in the world because I'm a 300-pound bald white guy. So that's how we react in the world, right? We got to have fun with it. It's life. How about you guys? Any other good COVID stories?
I mean, mine was pretty much the same story. That mask situation it's just, if first travel was shut down, but then travel opened up, and I was flying back and forth from Michigan to North Carolina a lot. And being on the plane and being out in public for 12 hours with a mask on, it just became boring. And then, like Terrence said, you're talking to people, you're like, yeah, let me get this, yeah, let me get that. You know what I'm saying? You sounding all muffled and disconnected from the world, and then you're trying to hear them through the glass. You're like, huh? What did you say? It was a lot of Hans going on in the world then.
I don't know about your guys' parts there. Over here, the supermarket, they had arrows on the floor they had to follow.
Yep.
They had that. They had the lines on the floor for every 6 feet where you couldn't cross the line.
Yeah. Outside and inside.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah,
what about you, Eddie? You had. Did you have Big Guy at that time? No,
I didn't have him then. No, I just had a couple crazy masks also. One that looked like a pig's face, like a pig's snout and nose. A bear, Chicago Bears, Cubs.
So he coming to kill everybody. This man don't want to fish fillet.
Had a Harley Davidson mask, tried to do whatever I could to make up a conversation.
Yeah, because people didn't want to talk to you.
Oh, yeah, no.
They did. It was difficult, and I'm glad that I was able to get some family with me because going into places and trying to, with that whole social distancing thing, just sighted guide, getting people that help you. But I'll tell you guys this real quick little funny story. My aunt went out, so we would go out to Walmart late at night because she was a healthcare worker, and so she worked a slightly different shift. So we would go sometimes at night when she got off of work, and so we're at Walmart and we pick up our things. And my aunt is not, the most technologically literate, right? She does what she's getting there, but self checkout they stymie a lot of people. And so we're in the self-checkout line. We got a few items, and it's her, my girl, and myself. And my aunt asked the lady to come over and help out. The minute the lady gets within range to help out, my arms sometimes get this dry cough.
Uh-oh.
And so she asked the lady, ma'am, it says I need assistance. Could you please? And when the lady come on, she says, what you need? My aunt's just, and
yeah.
and so my girl is standing behind me because she can hide behind. She's standing behind me, cracking up laughing. She ain't even holding it in. And I'm sitting here trying not to laugh because, then we look like a bunch of buttholes, like we pranking this lady. This is serious. It's people falling out. It's a serious time, people scared. And my aunt stops coughing. She goes, so what do I do? The lady said, press that button right there, and then left. It's so we're standing by the door. You got the greeter. You're supposed to show your receipt on the way out. And so she gets the receipt, and we get our stuff, and we go to walk out the door, and the man at the door saw all of this happen. And she say, excuse me, sir, you need to see this. He was like, no. Man, we laugh so hard about that to this day. But
another thing about
it's not like we all had similar situations as blind individuals. Just
I tell
what did you guys do about We talk about in-store shopping. So how did you guys deal with ordering food, man? Like, did you somebody switch to apps, or did you get somebody to go get it for you? Or
I think that's what made apps
We
popular.
always stock up, and then we're good.
I buy in bulk,
Yeah.
so I had a lot of stuff. Freezer full of food, and
I switched to in-store apps where you pull up to the store, call them, and say, "I'm here for my delivery," and
they come out and bring it to
some
you?
teenager runs out with a great big push cart with all your stuff all masked up and puts it in the trunk. And remember, I live in a northern climate, and a lot of this COVID was happening during the cold time. So those masks became like wind foils, like just solid sheets of ice.
Yeah, because people
breathing into the mask turned them into that ice sheet.
Oh yeah.
And that's when I think more so that's when I probably did the most ordering of stuff during COVID. Amazon was my friend.
Oh god.
Walmart was my friend. Uber Eats, DoorDash. Even though DoorDash is kind of weird sometimes using it with voiceover. But yeah,
that's a little bit better. A little bit better.
I think I even had Instacart for a couple months out of the COVID time, but yeah.
I'm still racking out with Instacart. And the Instacart started off as groceries. I literally ordered a Nintendo Switch off Instacart last week.
And you know what's another thing about when COVID hit, it was a time where people had to be more security cautious. Because before, you know what I'm saying, it was you always had to be security cautious, but now you got everybody wearing a mask. You don't know who nobody is. You can be getting robbed right in front of the ATM machine. They just think somebody there waiting to get in line. The police can see the person with the mask on. You there with your hands, they think you just out there waving your hands.
He's like, nah, man, we wouldn't start an impromptu dance battle at the. He had a gun in my back. So, like, come on, man.
Even the police wanted the social distance from you. They're like, so what's going on? They taking your statement there across the room, like, man.
Oh yeah, nobody wanted to get close, and it was that was a very, but you know, just I think I was able to kind of make do, but I did get a little carried away because at one point that year my kitchen turned into a short order diner. I still got my cast iron flat griddle, and I bought some stainless steel spatulas. I was down here I learned how to pour eggs on the flat iron without letting them run all over the place and flip them and fold them. I was down here making pancakes, bacon, hash browns, home fries. They were sending orders from the flat upstairs, but you know, like you said, you know, and Eddie says you did in bulk. I got yelled at for coming home with 50 pounds of rice one day. It was $17. Wow. I didn't know we was gonna be able to get back out to get some more rice.
That's a lot of rice.
Enough rice for a couple of weeks, huh?
Man, we had enough.
Was you trying to feed a third world country, Terrence?
I came in with that rice. She said, "What did you do it for?" I'm like, "Listen, we're doing stir fries. We're eating healthier. It was on sale. It was 50 pounds of rice for 17. I got it at Costco. Costco got everybody in trouble."
And besides, when you're done with the rice, the bag doubles as a sandbag.
Man, listen, what? This is multi-purpose, okay? Multi-purpose. So what I did for water, I got a subscription with. I don't know if you guys got it in Canada, Jody and Jason, but I got a subscription with Epsapure. And I got it just before the pandemic happened, and so everybody was trying to get water. I had that subscription. I had all the water you could handle. They showed up with, I get those 6 5-gallons, whatever they were, 5 gallons. I think they were 5 gallons. They were 5 gallons. So I ordered 6 5-gallons of water each month, and I had the machine, and they would bring it, and so we had fresh drinking water all you know, through the whole thing. Little stuff like that.
Oh, and people were stocking me up with Lysol wipes and Lysol spray, and I think I still have Lysol wipes left over. Yeah,
I still got wipes.
Oh yeah, I bought lavender so I can make my own hand sanitizer, and
People was going crazy over toilet paper during that time.
How much?
I'm sure people still have
How
like
much business do you do? That much? 700, 800 rolls of toilet paper? What are you okay?
That's probably when that guy got all them baby oil bottles.
They're so scared they're crapping their pants. Huh?
Yeah.
So with COVID happened, and then we got out of it. And then there's other things that go on in the world. And I know, without getting into politics, because we're not going down that rabbit hole tonight. But how about when you going out and voting and stuff? Like, I know in Canada we go in and we vote, go up. You take someone with you, or one of the volunteers from the polling station will go in a little cardboard fort with you and help you out. We vote by paper and pencil still in Canada, so they just tell us who they are and help us put the X on the right spot. Our ballots are much shorter than your guys's, though.
gotcha.
So we get assistance because they've got to make it accessible to us, to the blind. How about you guys? When you guys go out and vote, whenever you do, like, is voting accessible for you guys? Because voting is a very important part of our society.
Well,
It really depends.
I did hear that they had an accessible form of voting for people with visual impairment, but I lived in Detroit at the time, so the precinct near me where I voted at, I guess they didn't want to shove out the budget to get the accessibility for it, but I have heard of it. I've never seen it though.
Oh,
I've
wow.
used it. I used it during a when did I get sick, dude? It was 2022. So I used it that year for one of our primaries, right? I had an opportunity to use it, and it actually, but to his point, it was the 20 years at that point, since he and I both had turned 18. That they supposed to have had it set up and they didn't, and you run into it a lot. I appreciate the people that volunteer to vote, and for those of you that listen, volunteer to work the polls. Mm-hmm. And I really do appreciate your community service, but I just want you guys to keep in mind that it's just more than one type of person in the community. And the issue that my current girlfriend just ran into was trying to vote, and she's in Indiana, and she has a guide dog, and she goes in to vote. And first off, I guess the workers there, they weren't taught about service animals, like actual accredited service animals. Guide dogs are accredited service animals. She got a dog from one of the oldest schools in our country, and so that was already a thing. And then they didn't have the machine set up, and so they told her that you would have to have a seat while we set it up. Well, my lady works. She's taking time off because she can't sit around while you guys fiddle around. Like, time is money. She's on the clock. So, that does become a little bit of a concern, going to vote and then having to tell somebody your private business, because we all don't vote the same. We all don't feel the same. Mm-hmm. So I have found that to be an issue, and it just so happened for her, she had a friend there, but they were not that sympathetic or empathetic to what she needed to do as a blind member of the community. So that does become an issue, and I've experienced it myself. What about you guys?
I had to go vote once years back. I can't remember which year it was, but election. But I did a paper ballot, and I had to have two witnesses, a Democrat and a Republican, and reading the questions to me, and they could both see what my answers were. And that I did not like, but it's the way I had to do it at the time, and after that, every time I go now, I have somebody going with me a family member or a friend, usually a family member. That's what I do my voting that I can trust. Yeah.
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 Same
What
here.
about you, Jody?
I take a family member.
Yeah, during lockdowns, they because of it was in a school, and I think they shut it down. They moved it to another like banquet hall, like, and no longer enough for me to walk. It would have been like I'm not walking like over half an hour to go vote. So,
But that's it's not that we all have had similar, but just that's the thing, right? Because we have to have someone go with us because they do volunteer to do it, and you appreciate people volunteering their time to do it. But like I said, just keep in mind that it's just more than one member of the community.
Well, that's the thing is accessibility is always top of mind until it's the government agencies that have to do it. Mm-hmm. Even you get a hold of, we call it Service Canada, and they're online because you can access it online. That's our taxes and all that other stuff. I've always found it really hard to access by my phone with VoiceOver. So I call them and, well, you need this line off your taxes. I said, I'm blind. Like, you've made this inaccessible to me. Like, can't you get someone to read it? No, it's my taxes. It's my confidential information. Yeah. I claim single, so it's nobody's business. Exactly. Well, and so, yeah, so as much as we do, and this group of guys here, like, we do what we do, and we're pretty outgoing, we're motivated, we get things done, but there's still barriers that don't need to be there. And the worst part is the barriers are agencies that should much see past the barriers. It'd be one thing if it was Wally's Market on the corner, but it's not. It's our federal governments and stuff that want everybody else to make sure we have access, but not necessarily. Everyone else has to do it, but it's too big of a problem for us to deal with. Yeah. So like Terrence said, like, everybody out there, when you're working for the government, please keep in mind there's all disabilities need access to your agencies.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, because especially y'all here doing what you're supposed to do. And I'm not knocking Social Security, for the people that get it and that need it, but you also have people that strive to get off of it so that they can increase their income and get a few extra things in life and not be limited to that. You have a few people that strive to do it, and those people are trying to be paid back into the system. And so when the more of those people that do that, they become a further resource in society just to help with infrastructure. The stuff that taxes go for, and they're trying to do that. Make it easy for them to do that. It's one of those things we just talk about all the way around, right? Just now we're getting too off deep into like education and stuff in our countries and how expensive things are, but I'm trying to pay back into the system, and you ain't making it easy for me to do that right now.
One thing has changed as far as you mentioned the Social Security office. Here in the States, I know they are actually trying to make, the little kiosks that you have to log into when you go to Social Security office. You put a number. About that. They're actually installing JAWS on all those kiosks for the original.
Wow, nice.
So you just take your headphones, you plug them in, and if you get there and you ain't got no headphones, they give you a pair of disposable earplugs. You can plug them in.
Now if we can only get all the banks to do it, because at one point your choice was, earbuds or nothing, and now we get all the banks to make the ATMs, because I don't want the ATM reading my bank account out in public at all. So
my bank just got like a brand new digital touchscreen ones. Great. What's the accessibility like? I have no idea.
Okay, funny way to end it. What's the Braille for on the ATM? It's been there for 40 years. What is the Braille doing on the ATM machine?
What's number 5?
Yeah.
It said insert card here.
Oh.
As if you ain't you got somebody to help you out with it. You know.
Right.
I actually switched banks because of that reason before, though.
Really?
The bank I was with previously, they didn't have the talking ATM machines, and I found out, I think it was Bank of America at the time. I think it was Bank of America at the time. They had the talking ATM machines, so I switched over to them because I stayed right down the street from a ATM machine that had it accessible. Funny thing, to this day now, the ATM machine accessibility part is permanently broke for some reason.
Somebody pressed too many buttons, asked too many questions.
Yeah.
It yells out, "Oh, you got no money."
He said every time I come here, it says 0, 0, 0, 0. He's like,
Crazy.
Get a job.
Negative 100.
Yeah.
He said, "Sir, I'm not broke. You're just currently unemployed." Jermaine said, "I got a job. I cut hair. Independent contractor." But it sounds like we all. But overall, what I'm gathering is at the end of the day, though, we still had fun during the pandemic. We had to work it out, but we did what we've been talking about doing since the first episode. We're men. We're independent men. We stepped in and we made life happen.
If you'd like to join us, there's always a seat for you in Booth 6 at the International Blind Cafe, Discord server, and Facebook group.